folks know now that we are experiencing a coup in the United States. And what people are asking now is not what is happening, it's how can I get involved in stopping it? What can I do to help protect my liberty, protect our democracy, protect my community? And I've made a number of videos on this. You know, I am a big fan of Indivisible. Jessica Craven is the person that introduced me to that group. I attend their meetings, I attend their events. Our local chapter group is meeting tonight, and I will be attending tonight, obviously. There's also 5051. Follow them on Blue Sky, follow them on Instagram, and learn about the events that they have. But I was introduced to a third group. I feel like we don't have to be involved everywhere, but I feel like we need to pick a few organizations, just a few, to keep track of and plug into. And I'm really intrigued by this third one, so I want to share this with you and then talk about why I think it's a good idea to get involved with them.
If there's ever been a video that you have stopped on of mine, please let it be this one. Okay, just hold tight with me.
I'm listening.
I have recently joined a movement called No Small Act. You may have seen it on any of the apps that you're on. I've taken on a very important role of representative for Benton County. So important, very important. The purpose of No Small Act is straightforward but profound. We're building a coordinated county-by-county network to combat the growing threats of oligarchy and fascism that we're seeing every single day building in this country. Challenges feel huge. I know it myself. I know it because I've talked to many of you and I've seen many of your posts. We don't know what to do. We need to get organized. Everybody's like, I talk about it every single day, but I don't know what to do. Organized, strategic planning on a small local level is the tool that we need. We're building. There are 3,244 counties in the United States. That's not huge. That's not a ton. We need one representative for each county to act as a community connector. In doing this, we'll be able to bridge individuals and organizations to bring us together to create more meaningful, lasting change.
So I was tagged in the comments of this video like, hey, Angela, come watch this. This seems like it might be your jam. And I will make sure to tag the creator here so that you can go watch the whole video. Now, I don't want to get pulled in too many different directions at once, have too many emails coming to my inbox, feel overwhelmed, not sure what to choose from. Like sometimes too many options is not a good thing. So I personally am trying to follow just a few folks, right? Trying to plug in with just a few organizations. But I've got room for one more. And the reason that this group really seemed to resonate with me is because as someone who's practiced permaculture for 25 years, we have 12 principles in permaculture, and one of them is slow, small solutions. We cannot have top-down change. I understand and I believe in the importance of being on the horn and calling our elected officials in Congress at the federal level and telling them to do their goddamn jobs, right? I understand that that is really important. That's why I keep harping on it. But I also understand that we have to start at the bottom, that we have to start at the local level. And that where we really truly have our power as the American people, hundreds of millions of us, is in the collective power of the small actions that we each make. That's why things like blackouts, economic boycotts are so crucial. Why I have pushed so hard for folks to withhold their pennies from the economy however they can, especially from those organizations that support fascism, especially from companies like Visa that want to partner with SpaceX, from companies like the Washington Post, right? Making sure that we don't spend our money supporting those organizations is important. Because there are really not that many of them, and there are hundreds of millions of us. And it is us, our contributions to the economy, that have made these people who are trying to take power away from us, who want to not only control us through the economy, but also take all of our tax money so that we no longer have programs that keep America functional, but instead we fund the billionaires through our economic contributions, through our labor, but also by taking our taxes. Right, the power of our pocketbooks is so important, and it is that cumulative impact of all of us choosing to withhold our pennies that will help us gain the upper hand. That is the permaculture principle of slow, small solutions. And I think that Republicans have been super good. I've said this for like years. Republicans have been super good at organizing on a grassroots level and infiltrating things like school boards, local elections, not only just like election volunteers and running for local offices, but also making sure that they put those folks in oversight positions. It's your local sheriff, it's your local elections board, it's your local school board, where they make sure that they have their people in place. The fascists who run the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025, Republicans, whatever that party has become now, the party of fascism, they didn't just start in 2024 writing Project 2025. They've been working this game from the ground up, from a grassroots level for years and years and years and years. And so we cannot hope to topple it solely by pressuring people in Congress to act. Now, we have to beat them at their own game. We have to reclaim this country community by community by community. Every little small township, every little village, every little rural community, every major city, we have to reclaim all of those from fascism in order to protect our liberty, in order to protect democracy. They have undercut the Constitution, undercut the democratic process, instituted corruption on every level, including the local level. And we know from the way that I've studied permaculture design, we know that when we start small and we handle what is right in front of us, what we have the ability to have a real substantive impact on. Because I know me sitting in Portland, Oregon, there's a very limited amount that I can do in Washington, D.C., but I know what I can do here in my community of East Portland. We can bloom where we're planted, and if hundreds of millions of us bloom where we're planted, we will defeat fascism. So here's the organization, NoSmallAct.com. You can sign up here, and I just wanted to read a little bit about the mission of it. It says, our mission is to create systemic change through coordinated local action. Build a powerful network of engaged citizens working county by county. We are committed to taking our country back from fascism and oppression through strategic, organized efforts. Well, this sounds like exactly what I've been talking about. We have to be savvy, we have to be strategic, and we have to start local. I've talked for years about how important it is to our resilience as Americans to have local food and fiber economies, to build local connections, build communities, build support networks right where we live, that if we are hyper-local, if we focus on doing the work in our immediate vicinity and everybody else does the same, that we can then build those bridges and connections between those functional microeconomies. And that seems to be very much the principle that is being promoted with this group as well. We start small, we start where we are, we engage in what feels approachable and doable. And we have to present people with options that feel doable to them. And it's so easy to engage right where you are. It feels less radical, less exhaustive, less daunting to say, hey, let's do something right here where you live. I know a lot is happening in Washington, D.C. I know a lot feels so far away and that you can't reach it out there and you can't have an impact, but you can have an impact right here. And everybody else can have an impact right where they are, and we can connect with each other. What could be more American than that, honestly? The right in this country has done such a good job at really hammering home toxic individualism. COVID did a really good job dismantling community connections that we had and isolated us even further. I would argue that that effort by the right was strategic to tell us that we don't need to worry about our neighbors. It's our own wealth, our own prosperity, our own personal happiness that is paramount. That was strategic. That weakens us. We are strongest and most resilient when we have very strong community connections, when we have a support network, when we work not only for our own good, but the good of our neighbors. If my goal is the well-being, the high quality of life, not only for my nuclear family, but everybody that lives around me, and everybody else also has that goal, we create these links that are interconnected. We are all working for each other. And it is by doing that that we are strongest. But I really think it's sort of like, not a Fibonacci spiral, it's really more like fractals, right? That if you break it down all the way to the root, you have these tiny little, tessellations, and then it builds and builds and builds. We have to start those connections at home. We start small, we build the ground game, and then we connect those pieces. So I'm going to finish here by reading a few other things from their website, and you can pause to read as well. This, to me, is a worthwhile goal and an effective strategy to build bridges between isolated efforts and communities. Bring together existing organizations and movements, moving beyond discussion to real change. So thanks to the folks who tagged me on this video, and thank you to the creator for making this video in the first place. I hope that you will check this organization out, and I definitely will get plugged in as well.